Welcome back to the I-501CU, the podcast for nonprofit board members. And today we're talking about the topic of board retreats. Hey, everybody, this is Michael Corley. Just wanted to let you know we are now sending out a weekly, very brief newsletter. Tips, tricks, pointers to nonprofit executives. That includes both board members and CEOs, executive directors. If you're interested in receiving this, please go to thecorleycompany.com/newsletter and you can sign up. Once again, that's thecorleycompany.com/newsletter. All right, it's that time of year. It's board retreat opportunity season, if you will. Usually that happens once a year at the beginning of a fiscal year. As we know, a lot of nonprofit boards' fiscal year begins July 1st. Not everybody, but it's a great time for us to talk about why you should have a board retreat. You know, I get a number of calls. People say, hey, I want to have a retreat. Would you consider facilitating that? And my first question is, why do you want to have a retreat? The meeting's very expensive. It's very time consuming, and you want to be very purposeful. But I tell you what, there are a number of very good reasons why you want to have a board retreat. Number one is you want to level set the board. It's a great time to reflect on the past, what the successes of the past year, the opportunities, and then also level set going forward so you can make the following year an even better year. So why a retreat? Can you do that in a regular meeting? Retreats are longer in duration, right? Just by scheduling, calling it a retreat, that meeting is now a half a day or a few hours, whatever the case may be that works for your organization. So you have time. You have time to be intentional about the agenda. It's not your normal agenda that you had at every board meeting. You're very intentional about the agenda. You're thoughtful what's going to be included. And you usually have this at a different location just to expand thinking and to be, something fresh, something new. And you know what, at the retreat, you can really have some fun. Board meetings in and of themselves, because of the tight time frame, people got to get to work or people are coming home from work. They're very tight, if you will. But a retreat, you've got the luxury of a little bit of time so you can have some fun. So those are the features of why you might want to have a retreat. So what are the benefits? Everything's got to have a benefit because, like I said earlier, I opened up with, there's a tremendous cost to having a retreat. Well, probably first and foremost is you're strengthening the relationships between the board members and then the leadership staff. You're spending 4 to 6 hours together. So just by nature of that, you'll get to know each other a little bit better. You might have new board members coming on. You've got some rolling off. So that changes the dynamic of the board. So this is a really good opportunity to level set those relationships. And spend some time now. As you get into the agenda, spend some time reflecting on the past year. What went well, and again, what the opportunities are. And this is probably what the CEO would present, and take some thoughtful time to do that. Also, it's a great time to really revisit the mission, and as a group, talk about the mission and make sure you've got a common understanding and definition of the mission of the organization. Every time I do that, it's every time people have a different understanding of the mission, even though it's the exact same words we're hearing. And it's really important for that board to come together with senior leadership and have a firm understanding this is what our mission means to us, because that's going to dictate, the work for the entire year. So you'll want to certainly spend some time doing that. And so that is a huge benefit. You'd be remiss if you didn't take some time to look at what are the strategic priorities for the next year. What are those 3 things, 3 to 5? I'll give you 5, but it should be 3 things, no more than 3 things that the board and senior leadership, CEO, wants to accomplish over the next year, because this is what the CEO and the senior leadership will focus on over the next year. You really cannot give them more than 3 priorities. It's just really too much. And by identifying those priorities as a board, now you've got a topic of discussion in each meeting. What's the update? How can we help you achieve those objectives or the strategic priorities? Retreats also a really good time to have a challenging discussion. If it's something that has been maybe put off, and this happens quite frequently, or there's just some uncomfortableness about a specific topic, and it's in a normal board meeting, you just don't have the time to really get into it and to spend time listening and discussing. So a retreat is a perfect time to carve out half an hour, 45 minutes to address a specific topic or challenging situation. I tell you, and I tell people as I do board retreats, the secret sauce, if you want the secret sauce to a board retreat, share a meal. Make sure you either have a breakfast or a lunch, or if you do in the evenings, a dinner. There is nothing like sharing a meal with people that draws people together, that creates an atmosphere of camaraderie and collaboration, and really will make a difference from not only that meeting, but the difference in the relationships for the entire year going forward. I firmly believe nonprofit organizations ought to do a retreat at least once a year and do it in a very thoughtful manner, but address those items that we just talked about. The benefits will be enormous and will last the entire year. So there you go, Michael Corley and the I-501CU, the podcast for nonprofit board members. Go have yourself a good retreat.